Good morning, everyone. This is the final video journal response. Alrighty, so here we go. After reading chapter 10 and chapter 16, what stood out to me is how clearly Jones frames Broadway as an art form in constant evolution rather than a fixed tradition. So, starting with chapter 16 highlights a pivotal shift away from the spectacle driven mega musical towards works that are more introspective, character focused, and I would say dramaturgically ambitious. One of the major takeaways is the rise of what Jones refers to as the anti musical, along with the lasting influence of Stephen Sondheim. So rather than prioritizing visual excess or commercial appeal, these shows emphasize the psychological realism, complex musical structures, and integrated storytelling. Sondheim's approach fundamentally reshaped expectations for what musicals could achieve emotionally and intellectually, setting a new standard that values depth over spectacle. Another aspect of 16 was that its exploration of darker subject matters. So, with musicals like Assassins actually demonstrates that the genre can engage with morally complex, um, I would also say unsettling and controversial themes without simplifying them for mass consumption. So, by pairing accessible musical language with challenging ideas, these works they encourage audiences to think critically rather than passively consume entertainment. This chapter it reinforces the idea that musicals are capable of confronting uncomfortable truths while still remaining artistically compelling. 16, it emphasized the emergence of the next generation of creatives. So it I found this term kind of funny, but often described as Sondheim's children, composers like Jonathan Larson, Jason Robert Brown, and Janine Tesori, they build on his legacy while responding to contemporary cultural concerns. Their work it blends sophisticated musical language with modern themes, proving that Broadway can innovate while maintaining artistic integrity. So overall, this chapter it presents this era as a moment of inheritance and experimentation where musicals become bolder, darker, and now more emotionally complex. On the flip side of this, chapter 10, it complements this discussion by focusing on the diversification of voices and forms within modern musical theater. One of my takeaways was how Broadway had expanded to include stories and perspectives that were historically marginalized. Jones highlights the incorporation of contemporary music styles such as rock, hip hop, and pop. While not only modernizing the sound of Broadway, it also creates a space for a wider range of cultural experiences and identities on the stage. Another thing from the chapter was the emphasis on innovative storytelling. Some musicals are now no longer confined to the traditional book musical structure. Instead, creatives are now experimenting with concept musicals, hybrid forms, and even non-linear narratives that challenge the audience's expectations of what they would traditionally see. So this experimentation it now allows musicals to explore complex emotions and themes in ways that the older forms wouldn't be able to do, thus reinforcing the idea that musical theater it's a living, ever evolving art form. You can't box it in. It's unique. Lastly, the chapter underscores the growing social significance of modern musicals. These works, they do more than entertain. They actually and actively engage with conversations around race, gender identity, and societal change. So by reflecting contemporary values and not transitions, but tensions, modern musicals, they now spark dialogue and invite audiences to reflect on the world around them. So taken together, 16 and 10, they both illustrate how Broadway has evolved both artistically and culturally. They show a genre that is willing to take risks, challenge conventions, and embrace complexity, thus ensuring that musical theater remains relevant, meaningful, and deeply connected to the society that it represents.